again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today I'm going to talk for the first time and realistically probably the last time about Bruce Dickinson, a Bruce Dickinson album, as you can see, called the Mandrake Project. I don't know what a Mandrake is still after all these years. You know, in the opening track of Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, 1988, is Moonchild, which is one of my favorite, maybe even my second favorite Iron Maiden song. He says, hear the mandrake scream, ow! And for all these years, I've wondered, what the hell is a mandrake? And I've never looked it up, and I still don't know. But irregardless, I am going to talk about the Mandrake Project, which sounds very ominous and very important, I think. Well, to get into it, I guess right from the start, I am going to see Bruce Dickinson. He's playing here in Mexico City on sometime in April. I'm not sure when. I'm sure I'll check before the concert arrives so I don't forget. And he's playing at the Pepsi Center in Mexico City. I've only been there once for a concert. I saw Gene Simmons there a few years ago, and I think it holds 1,500, 2,000 people, 3,000. I don't know. I think they have different configurations. So I'm excited to go see Bruce Dickinson. It's such a small venue, and I'm a massive, huge Iron Maiden fan. That's been well established on this channel and in my life for a long time. I've been into Iron Maiden since 1982. Yet, this is the first Bruce Dickinson album that I've ever bought. Oh, and I forgot to show you. Here it is here. The Mandrake Project. It should be called the Mandrake, and then in parentheses, whatever the hell that is, project. But it's not. Maybe that's a marketing thing. So as much as I love and even worship Iron Maiden, I never got into Bruce Dickinson's solo stuff. I think that's the same for a lot of bands. When I really, really like a band, Pearl Jam is a great example. I'm probably the biggest Pearl Jam fan you'll ever know. They're bigger than me, you just don't know who they are. But Eddie Vedder's solo stuff, it's okay, I've bought it, but I can't get into it like Pearl Jam. You know, the Stone Gossard stuff, Jeff Ament has done stuff, Matt Cameron, Mike McCready. I like Pearl Jam as a whole. And I guess there are some other bands or artists that I could use as an example, but that's the only one for now. And same with British Lions, Steve Harris's other band. I don't care about them. But so I did buy the Mandrake Project because I'm going to see Bruce next month, and I just wanted to, build myself up for a little bit, hype myself up, and because he's going to be playing some tracks on this album. I saw an interview with him a week or so ago. He mentioned that he's going to be playing 4 songs from this album. I can probably predict at least what 3 of them are. So, and I know, there was Balls to Picasso, Chemical Wedding, Tattooed Millionaire. That song sucked. The song Tattooed Millionaire, I thought that song sucked. So Balls to Picasso, Accident of Birth, Tattooed Millionaire, what was the Picasso? Picasso. Did I say that? Balls to Picasso, Accident of Birth, Chemical Wedding, Tattooed Millionaire. I think he had maybe 1 or 2 other solo albums. I don't know, but never got into it. But I have got into this, and this is one of the newer albums that I've done. Typically, these records that I talk about, they're all old stuff, but this is one of the newer ones. It just came out a week ago. I think it came out March 1st. Which was Friday for me. That was like just a week ago or a week and a half ago, and I've listened to this album 3 times in full. I've listened to it twice full. Took it out for a walk in the nice hot baking sun and really enjoyed it. And listened to it just a short time ago outside of my balcony, and I had to write some notes about it. It's not this whole page. It's just the bottom part. These are from past episodes, because I do want to be prepared so I don't disappoint anybody. So I did have to write some notes. Overall, I like this album. There's no way I can get into it like I could get into old Iron Maiden records or any old records. And I'm going to try not to compare this album to anything Iron Maiden has done. I think that's kind of pointless, futile, or futile. I'm not sure how you say that word. It's kind of natural, when a guy's in a band, especially you've been listening to for so long, do you like this better or this better? And I want to try to avoid that. So I do like it overall. It's very heavy metal. It's much more, and just as I said, I'm not going to compare it to Iron Maiden. I'm going to contradict myself and say that it's much more heavy metal than, for whatever that's worth, than especially the last Iron Maiden record, Senjutsu, which is, I don't know, it's Iron Maiden, but it's not really heavy metal. But this album really is. There's a lot of heavy metal on this album. A lot of keyboards, backing keyboards. The keyboards aren't, the main part of the song, but they are in there kind of as a, to just give it some texture, I guess, or some depth, to give the song some texture or depth. But there is some pretty heavy metal guitar on this record too. I have no idea who's in his band. I know Roy Z produced it and I think played guitar as well. Bruce obviously sings, and Bruce probably does some other things on it too. I don't know. I'll open it up and I'll see the credits. I think I can open it up right now. So there it is. On it, this has a hype sticker. It says Bruce Dickinson, the Mandrake Project, the brand new studio album from one of the greatest heavy metal vocalists of all time. Includes Afterglow of Ragnarok, which I'll talk about shortly. It's the first song. And Rain on the Graves, 180 gram heavyweight black vinyl. It's a double record, and it is a gatefold. Sometimes there are double records, but they're not gatefolds. This is a double record, and sometimes there are single records and there are gatefold. This is both, double record and a gatefold. And it was a decent price on Amazon, at least for a double record. I thought it was pretty fair. So I'll get this off. Very cool. The album cover. I was going to say it's very cool. I like the fact that it's embossed. I mean, I'm not going to sit around and finger it or caress it or do anything untowards with it. But it is kind of cool to give a little something for the fingertips. So there it is. There's the back. There's Bruce. And what I don't like about this record, and I guess this is what happens with long records. My friend Damien, or he calls himself Damo, from Australia, he has a channel called the Long Gone Loser Rock Show. If you like my channel, you'll probably like his much better, but go check it out. And he talked recently about, he went through all his Iron Maiden records, and he mentioned, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, that the great thing about vinyl, maybe the two great things about vinyl, one of them is that it kind of kept things in check. Once CDs came out, bands thought that, well, we have 74 minutes, 79 minutes, I guess. Let's fill it up, which kind of sucks. Because all the great, I've talked about this, all the great albums, all the great Kiss albums, Van Halen, the Beatles, those are all 30, 35 minutes. The Black Sabbath and, the good Black Sabbath and AC/DC records are, I guess around 40 minutes. Metallica records were, I guess, around 50, except for Justice for All, I think it was 65. And even the great Iron Maiden records, Power Slave was around 50. Somewhere in Time was around 52. They were a little bit long. But so I don't like that it's a double record. And so it's three songs, and one song. And it's too much getting up and changing this. I like to lie in bed and listen to the record with headphones. And, to put it on and then get up 3 times to change it, it's a little bit too much for me. The Down Nola record, I talked about that was like that. But and this record, it's not excessively long. I think it's probably, I did write the times of each song down in my notes. I think it's probably right around an hour, maybe 58 to probably 64 minutes, somewhere around there. But here's the kind of a boring gatefold. Although I still do appreciate a gatefold. There it is. It says, I am your very soul, the one you do not know. That's presumably a lyric that's probably from, I think it's Resurrection Men, where he mentions, or maybe it's Afterglow of Ragnarok, where he mentions souls. A lot of soul mentioning on this record. So let's see what's inside. All right, I love it so far. It's got the lyrics there, so I can sit and listen to it. There's Bruce again. And it's just black vinyl, a black record. Hard to get out. A little bit of a tight fit. I'll work on that later. You get the idea. You know what black records look like, right? Now I can't get it back. Oh my God. How embarrassing. Let me see. I got to do this without what's the problem here? Is it stuck like, you know what? I think it's like, not magnetically, oh, there we go, okay. When you get like static cling, it seems like it's static cling. And presumably the other record and sleeve, inside sleeve, looks exactly the same. We'll find out. Yes, it does. So it's got that symbol on it and more lyrics there. And here's some credits. Anything important here? All right, a lot of, this album is dedicated to blah, 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 for my family, blah, blah, blah. Not to discount what Bruce Dickinson has to say, but I don't think you want to hear me reading everything here. Roy Z is like the brother I never had. We have found the light even after 30 years of music together, blah, blah, blah. I don't see my name on here in the thank you, so I've kind of lost interest there. Oh, Roy Z, Dave Moreno, Mysteria, I guess those are the people who play on it. He thanks himself. Special thanks to the legendary Bruce Dickinson. I don't know if I've ever seen that. And the great Roy Z, or Roy Z, I'm not sure. It depends what part of the world you live in, if you like Z or Z, for their long-time partnership and blah, blah, blah. So I can put that away and get right to it, all right? So the first song, as mentioned, is The Afterglow of Ragnarok. Now, I'll add Ragnarok. Let me get my notes here. Ragnarok, I'll add to the list of words that I don't know what the hell they mean. I don't know what a Mandrake is, and I don't know what Ragnarok is. To me, it sounds like something from the Dagobah system. In Star Wars or The Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker goes to the Dagobah system where he meets Yoda. And Ragnarok just sounds like or maybe like the monster in, is it Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back, where the Millennium Falcon flies into the crater to evade the TIE fighters, I think, and as it turns out that they're in the mouth or the belly of that great beast. To me, that beast sounds like it should be called a Ragnarok, or as I said, something in Dagobah. But anyway, the song is called Afterglow of Ragnarok. Ragnarok. It's 5 minutes 46 seconds. It's got a classic metal kind of intro as these songs, these albums tend to do, and then it goes into a very, very cool, very metal riff, and it's got a really, this album is quite melodic. There's some good catchy choruses on here, and Afterglow of Ragnarok had one of them. Next is Many Doors to Hell. This was 4:48. It's got a kind of a doom, 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 and I would say an anthemic opening, which I liked. And also, it is a very metal song, and is also, like Afterglow of Ragnarok, very melodic and catchy, which I like. Now, Tattooed Millionaire, as I mentioned, that song, which I think sucks, it was catchy. Catchy doesn't mean good. But in this case, I like both of these songs so far. Again, I don't have too much to say about these songs. I've only listened to the record 3 times. Next is Rain on the Graves. This is 5:05. I love this song. This is for sure my favorite on this album. This will, it's got a little tiny bit of, I don't want to say, I want to say rap. The way he delivers his cadence, the way he delivers the opening lyrics of the song. I have no idea what they are, but it sounds like a little bit of a rap thing going on. Don't judge it by what I say about that, but I love that song, Rain on the Graves. I think this will be a good live song, and I'm sure this will be the one. He mentioned that Bruce mentioned recently that he's going to do 4 live songs from this album. I'm sure Afterglow of Ragnarok will be one. Rain on the Graves will be another one. I'm not sure about the other 2. Next is called Resurrection Men, 6 minutes 24 seconds. Their songs are getting a little bit long here. This is a good song. I like this song too. It's a heavy song. It's not quite as metal, but it is a heavy rock song. Resurrection Men. Next is Fingers in the Wounds, 3:39. This is getting into more radio-friendly territory. There's some notable piano in the verses of this song. That song's okay. Didn't catch my attention too much, but it was all right. Next is Eternity Has Failed. Now, obviously, this is a different version of If Eternity This song is called Eternity Has Failed. What is Iron Maiden's version? The opening song on the Book of Souls. Is it if eternity has failed, or if eternity should fail? And I've known for years that was the song on the Book of Souls was meant for a solo record, and now here it is on a solo record. And I'm not sure how they choose that. I don't know how many of these songs. I think Bruce has been working on this record for many, many years. I don't know why Iron Maiden chose that song. But anyway, so this is, I guess, I don't know if this was recorded before the Maiden version and then tweaked, or I don't know if it was recorded before and left alone, or I don't know if it was re-recorded completely, but it's basically, it's clearly different. I mean, you just have to listen to it for 2 seconds and it's different, but it is a pretty much straight up same version. There's really very, very small differences, although overall it is a big difference. I think this version is a tiny, just a little bit slower than the Iron Maiden version. And the ending on this version is a bit shorter. It just ends with good day, my name is Necropolis. And on the Iron Maiden version, it was that went on for like two verses. Good day, my name is Necropolis, I am the harvester. Here it was my name is Necropolis, I am formed of the dead. And on the Maiden version, it continued with I am formed of the dead. What did he say in that one? And I love that song. If Eternity Should Fail, I think that's what it's called there in Maiden version. And I love Book of Souls. I think it's a fantastic record, mostly a couple of clunkers. But anyway, he cuts off the end of Eternity Has Failed. 6:59, that one. Next is Mistress of Mercy. This is 5:08. This is for sure the fastest, the most up-tempo. I wouldn't say it's the most metal song, but it's the most rockerish song. Mistress of Mercy. Maybe that one he could play live too. Face in the Mirror is next. This is 4 minutes 8 seconds. This one, I didn't really like this song too much. He says, one of the lyrics is, I drink to ease the pain, which you wouldn't expect from Bruce Dickinson. And there was something else about drinking in that song too. Maybe he's got to straighten out that funny little drinking problem he's got, like Frank Rizzo. There's also some piano in this song. And this song reminds me of, it brings to mind Tears of a Clown from the aforementioned Book of Souls by Iron Maiden. That song sucks. I mentioned that the Book of Souls I think is a great record, except for Tears of a Clown. That song is just kind of slow, and to me it's slow, it's not catchy, it's not rock, it's just kind of eh. And this song is Face in the Mirror reminds me a little bit of that. Two more here. Shadow of the Gods. This is 7 minutes 2 seconds. It starts quiet. The first I think about 4 minutes of the song are kind of quiet. Then, as Paul Stanley says, now it gets rough, and then it becomes very metal, and it's got some great shouting vocals, shouting backing vocals. That's a good song, Shadow of the Gods. And the last one is, this is the longest one. It's 9 minutes 51 seconds. It's called Sonata, Immortal, Immortal Beloved, or Beloved. And I thought it's okay, but to me it was ultimately disappointing. Usually these last songs, especially if they're long, you kind of have Metallica. Their last song from 72 Seasons was called something similar to this. Was it in Inamorata, I think? And you maybe have, there was another album that I talked about recently that had a long song that was kind of disappointing. I think it was a Judas Priest record. And it's okay, but you maybe when you have a song that's 10 minutes, you have high expectations for it. It's not disappointing because it's long. I've said many times that The Rime of the Ancient Mariner is maybe the greatest song ever recorded in the history of music, and that's 13 minutes, 32 seconds, I think, and it's great because it has all kinds of changes, and it goes, and How Many More Times by Led Zeppelin, Master of Puppets. These are long songs, but they're fucking awesome. This is a long song, and it's for me, it doesn't really go anywhere. So, and it's kind of mellow, doesn't have too much change. It's kind of 10 minutes of this. So maybe a little bit of a disappointing finish to the record. But overall, it's, as I said, I do like it. I can't imagine I'm going to be, playing this again and again. It is a little bit of a chore to listen to at 58 to 64 minutes, I think, probably somewhere around there. And it doesn't invite multiple listens like a 30, 35, even 40-minute record. Yeah. But as I pick it up again, I love Bruce Dickinson. He's one of my favorite musicians ever, not just as a musician, but man, what a guy Bruce Dickinson is. He's just incredible. I love him in many, many ways. And I should say vocally, he sounds incredible. He sounds really, really good, and I expect him to. And I'm also going to see Iron Maiden on November 20th. So I'll be seeing Bruce twice this year, solo and Iron Maiden. I think it's April 20th for Bruce, and I know for sure it's November 20th for Iron Maiden. So hopefully I'll listen to this a little bit more in the next month and a bit to get to know it when he plays it live, so I can rock out with Bruce Dickinson. Yeah, so there it is. This is Bruce Dickinson, the Mandrake Project.